Okay, so today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what we discussed in some of my earlier videos. This one is about putting together your business plan for a mobile yacht cleaning business or mobile boat cleaning and detailing company. Um, Now, the most important thing that you need to know about making your business plan is that the only way to get this thing done is to actually start. And a lot of people put it off and then eventually they decide they don't need it. You actually do need it, and it's really easy to do, and it's really easy to start. The best way to start that I've found, and I've done business plans for a number of other entrepreneurs and all of my own endeavors, and no, I don't have a MBA either, so this is not something that you can't do. If I can do it, you can do it. Okay. Um, Now, what I recommend is you put together a nice outline, which you can later use as your table of contents for your business plan. Now, I run a think tank now in retirement before being in the cleaning industry. One thing I note when I read business plans from other entrepreneurs is sometimes they don't even have a table of contents. And you might think, well, why not? But most people never get past the executive summary. But when you want to start reading more information, you need a table of contents to see what page to go to see what you're looking at. Because some people just aren't interested in every aspect of it. They need to know a certain few details, and they want to know what they're getting into before, let's say, they invest their money in you, or before they even give you a little bit of money from a crowdsourcing type situation. And they may not be interested in everything about your business plan, but there's certain things they're very interested in, and you need to have them in there. Plus, you need to be thinking about all these different categories inside your business plan because this is part of the planning process. And business plans aren't something you just create, throw in a drawer, and never look at again. They help you in the formation of your business, but they also change over time. And if you have everything under control and you have a nice outline or a nice table of contents at the starting of your business plan, then it is really easy to go back and add new things, change things, cross things out, and you kind of have a working plan. And then you can revise it maybe once a year. Okay, so I'm going to run through some of the categories. If you have a yellow pad and a piece of paper or something and a pen, go ahead and write these down. Okay, I'm just going to run through them real quick. You might have to start and stop the video a few times so you can put all these on a yellow pad of paper. Before I start, I recommend that as you're writing these down, you skip 4 or 5 lines after each thing I say, okay? Because then you can put in your notes, and then just no matter how many pages it takes, you just write each item down and then skip 4 lines or 5. Okay, the first is just at the top, put the name of the company that you want to start, like Stan's boat cleaning business or whatever it's going to be. Personal businesses sound better. People like that because you've got your name on it. Unless you're going to go real big in the area or multiple operations and grow your company, you don't necessarily need a real tricky name like Barnacle Busters or whatever that you want to come up with. Okay, so put that at the top of the yellow pad, and then let's start. The first one is the executive summary. So just write executive summary on there, and I'll go through these things later. Write executive summary, skip 5 lines. Now write company description. Okay, skip another 5 lines. Then write mission statement, and can skip another 5 lines. Okay, we're going to go on just like that. Next, I want you to write industry analysis. Okay. Position for growth. Okay. The next item will be marketing analysis. Then we're going to list your target markets, so put target markets. Okay, you're skipping 5 lines between each of these. Then I want you to write marketing, skip 5 lines, sales, another 5 lines, advertising. Okay. Now we're going to get in the next section, so skip 5 more lines and let's write management. Okay, then operations, then inventory, then equipment, then hours. You're skipping 5 lines between each of these. Then I want you to write or write systems, comma, procedures, comma, computer, comma, credit cards. Okay, now we're going to skip 5 lines. Legal strategies / business structure. Okay, another 5 lines. Licensing. Okay, skip down. Write regulations. Okay, 5 lines after each. I want you to write insurance, then financial strategies. Then I want you to write taxes, capital requirements, long-term goals. Okay, we're skipping 5 lines each time. Managers / additional crews. Okay, now write billing, and then write anticipated gross sales from services. Anticipated gross sales from services. Okay, skip down 5, and we want to write anticipated business expenses. Okay, then I'd like you to write on the middle of the page, appendix. And in the appendix, you can just number these. I want you to write year 1, 2, 3, sales / expenses. Then I want you to write cash flow projections. Then I want you to write sketches of equipment / logo. And then 2 more. Website strategy and social networking plan. Okay. This will consist of your table of contents. Now this is the cool part about it. You can take, now you have this pad of paper with, it's multiple pages now. You have this all set up. Now you need to sit back and start thinking about this. I'm really start to go through it. Now there's some books I think you should read. One is From Good to Great by Jim Collins. He's a Stanford University business professor. Pretty interesting guy. And I need you to read The E-Myth by Michael Gerber. It's a classic. You can get that anywhere. Probably even at a used bookstore. You can probably even pick it up at a thrift store if you find it. So those aren't expensive books, and they're very, very good to have. They're very popular, and I recommend them. You might also pick up a business book on business planning, and it'll have sample business plans for different kinds of businesses. Not all of them have service businesses, sample business plans for services businesses in them. So you may need to look around until you find one that's like that has a sample business plan that's most apropos to something like this, a high-end professional cleaning type service. Okay, now in your executive summary, what this is going to be, it's going to be about no more than 2 pages, a condensed version of everything that you're going to have in your business plan. Just the boom, 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 boom. It should be like if you're going to explain what you're going to do in your business to your investors or to a friend, and you're going to do it in 3 or 4 minutes, maybe 5 minutes, that's what's going to be on the executive summary. It's just a summary of everything else in your business plan. Sometimes it makes sense to kind of jot down what you want to talk about and think of some phrases and stuff and leave that section for last. Some people just write it first and they never do a business plan, because if you have an executive summary, you kind of got the rest of the idea in your head. That's how entrepreneurs think. That's how they do things. Entrepreneurs are into doing stuff, not writing about it, not talking about it, But your executive summary needs to explain what you're going to be doing, how you're going to be doing it. Okay. Now your company description will be, your address, your base of operations, how you're going to go about it, what kind of equipment you're going to use, and how you're going to do your operations, and what you are all about, and you personally. You might even throw your resume in there and in your business description. And so below each one of these categories, you should be thinking, maybe go to Starbucks and have a frappuccino. I mean, just go hang out at Juicy Lucy's, or if you're in Florida, if you're on the West Coast, you go to In-N-Out Hamburger, and just sit down there and start, just write out this stuff as you think of it, and you're just going to go with your notepad. You're just going to be thinking. Then you're going to do a company analysis of what a SWOT analysis is what they call it. Your strengths and your weaknesses and those kinds of technical issues, like you're good at sales, or you're really good at cleaning, or you're not very good at accounting, or you're good at this other stuff, and you have an eye for detail and all that kind of stuff. You're going to put your company analysis of basically it's you and whoever's going to be working with you in your little company. Then you're going to write about the industry. In the industry, you're going to have to go through some of my other videos. I think are on this same YouTube. You'll find them under my name. You're going to go through your area and the type of competition and the types of boats available to wash and the type of services you think you can provide that are available, that are needed because of the demographics of your area and all that kind of stuff. And who else is doing it, how they're doing it, why they're doing it, how all the industry mixes together, and things like that. Who sells equipment, how the industry might change in the future, because there may be a robotic underwater units that are cleaning the bottoms of boats in the future, and other types of things, new techniques and strategies that you may just be learning about right now because you saw it on a YouTube video. Someone else has some new piece of equipment they're marketing on the market. And you're like, wow, that's going to change everything. Well, yeah, put that in your business plan. Okay, so then the trends, kind of what I was talking about before, how you see things moving along in your industry and what you kind of project in the future. Is the boating industry going to tank? Is the middle class rising, falling? Are more boats being bought by the upper class because they have more money now? All the kinds of things and the trends. Are they building more boats here? Are they building the boats in China now, the mega yachts? All those kinds of trends are going to affect how you run your business. Your position for growth. How you plan on writing the positives in the market and mitigating the negatives. So you need to write about that and think about how you're going to go about doing that. And then under each category, you're just writing down the things you're thinking of while your mind is going. See, and by doing this, you've already you're creating your business plan. See, this is a planning process. You're thinking of every little aspect. So you don't leave anything. You think of all the potential fallbacks and positives and how you're going to kind of jockey around and make it all work. Okay. The marketing analysis. What kind of marketing are you going to do? Is it going to work? Are you going to do direct mail to boat owners based on lists of people that own boats? Are you going to partner up with other companies in the marine sector? Are you going to ask your current customers, maybe you run a marine business already, you're going to ask your current customers if they would like boat detailing. If you run a mobile auto detailing or something like that, ask your customers how many customers they have boats and how many people that you have customers might refer you to people who do have boats. So then you want to figure out what your target market is going to be. Are you going to go after the high-end heavy hitters, or are you going to try to be in every man's weekly wash service for anyone who has a boat? You don't care what it is. You're going to charge them based on the number of feet, how the length it is. And remember, as they go longer, they get wider. So you can't just base it on the amount of feet. You kind of got to think about how this works. So the types of boats you're going to be cleaning and the types of equipment. You might be cleaning fishing boats. It's a whole different business than cleaning someone's pristine sailboat, or just rinsing off someone's smaller yacht because they're going to come out for the weekend. So that's and put a quick coat of wax on it. That's a whole different business than it would be doing a restoration project on someone's boat that the teak is all messed up and it's time to get it all refurbished. And you got to decide what target market you're going to go after. and then what kind of equipment you're going to need, and that'll all get into the later part of the business plan. Okay, how are you going to market to these people? How are you going to reach them? Sales, are you going to go out and do sales? Are you going to have a standard thing that you say to people? Are you just going to go out and shoot the crap with them and talk with them a little bit and find out what they need, and then volunteer your services that way? How you're going to do that? Are you going to hire someone to do the sales for you if maybe that's not your strong suit? If you're an introverted person and you're really good at the detailing, but you really don't want to deal with all these people, maybe hire a cute gal or someone who's just a real talker, and go get them and say, hey, get some business for me and I'll give you 10% or whatever you're going to do. Figure out if that's going to be your strategy, and go from there. Advertising, where are you going to advertise? Are you going to spend big bucks? Are you going to do a yellow page ad? They can get quite costly, and if you don't have any business from that, then maybe turn out to be a real big waste of money. Of course, if there's no one else in the yellow page ad, and older folks still use yellow pages, by the way. That's something to think about. Then you got to think about, you're going to do some website stuff, social networking. Later on, you're going to have to make a special business plan or special marketing plan just for that. But you want to put your very basic strategies of how you're going to do your advertising and your marketing, your sales. And you're going to put all these ideas in these little categories on your 5 lines on your yellow legal notepad. Okay. And then this is going to be the basis for preparing the business plan. So I'm already getting you in the mindset of creating a business plan, even though you thought you didn't need one, or you thought it was too hard, or you thought you couldn't do it because you didn't have an MBA. Bullshit. Okay, bullshit. You can do a business plan. You don't have to be an MBA. You don't have to have gone to business school. And let me tell you, when I went to business school and I talked to people and I talked to my professors, I've been running my company since I was 12 years old, washing airplanes. So basically, they didn't tell me anything I didn't know. They made me read a bunch of chapters of a bunch of crap. And I just wanted to chuck the book at them. I should have been teaching the class. Seriously, it was ridiculous. So just don't think that these folks who have their MBAs know more than you do. They might know a lot of procedures and this and that and management, but you know what? They're gearing those kids to go work for corporations, not to work for themselves. That's a whole different ballgame. You got to go to an entrepreneurial class for that, and that would not be going to an MBA school, because that's just business management. You're going to be a manager. You're going to try to become a leader and be an important person and executive in the company. Okay, that's great, but when it comes to startups, yeah, you need to know some of this stuff, but really, you're going to run your own business. You're going to run it your way, and you're not going to necessarily do it the MBA way. Some of the stuff they do works. Use what works. Some of the stuff doesn't work. Won't work for small businesses. Skip it. Okay. Okay. Now on to management. On your management category. Are you going to grow your business? And if you get real big, let's say you can't work 7 days a week. Maybe you can. I know I worked 17 hours a day for 27 years, but I wouldn't recommend everyone do that. You got to have a life, right? Now, my business was my life, and it's pretty fun. And this is a fun business to have because you're out there doing what you love, and you're out there at the marina or whatever. That's good. Now, I want to talk to you about operations, back to management. So as you get your business bigger, you may have people that work nights or weekends based on the kind of contracts you get. And if that happens, what management procedures are you going to put in place to make sure that they don't steal from you from cash jobs? They don't go out and do their own stuff. They don't quit your business and start their own company. Things like that. The non-compete clauses and all the things. You got to think about all this stuff ahead of time. Because as you grow your business and you promise people that you're going to do services for them, and you have more and more business, you've got to decide if you're going to hire people to help you, or if you're going to try to do it all yourself, or how that's all going to work. Operations. Yeah, well, this gets into operations too. You're going to have procedures for every boat you clean. Are you going to have a detailing checklist? I know in the auto business, when we started the car wash guys and the detail guys, we did have checklists for everything we did. So before we finished a detail on a car, we had a checklist. It was a page and a half of things we check off that we made sure we hit every single thing. Because if you don't go through them, you might have missed something, and the customer notices. They're going to complain. They're not going to refer you. They might be upset but not say anything. Then they never call you back. That's no good. You need a checklist so you make sure you do it perfect every time, because that's what detailing is about. It's perfection. It's like taking a used boat and making it so nice that you could put it in a boat show. See what I'm saying? That's what it's about. And that's what people want when they pay big bucks for detailing. They want their boat to be brand new again. And if you can make that happen for them, you know what they say? When you buy a sailboat, the 2 best days of your life are the day you buy it and then the day you sell it, because it's a lot of work and a lot of cost and a lot of stress. Well, what if you could bring back that first day, the first day they bought it, and that right off from the yacht detailer or from the yacht broker, and it was perfectly detailed, and you give them that new boat back every single time they go out to sail. Well, that's what it's about. So that's what you're doing. You got to be thinking about that. So in your operations, you want to know your procedures, how you're going to do it, how you're going to just every little thing that you can think of, and that's going to go in your business plan. Inventory. You're going to need supplies and inventory. You're going to figure out what those are in advance. You kind of want to figure out what that is and have it all listed in your business plan. And so kind of think about that. Equipment. There's another video on equipment. You need to go through that video, think about that, and go through some of the other types of equipment and find out what's in the industry and decide what you're going to buy and what you're not going to buy or what you can afford to start out. You may buy other things later. You may even put in your business plan, in 6 months, I'm going to get a hot water, high pressure water. You may start out with dry wash because you don't want to afford a pressure washer. Or maybe you can't use a pressure washer in certain marinas because they don't want you taking algae off the boat on the hull when you're power washing and putting it into the water because it takes oxygen out of the water and kills the fish. Environmentalists are into this stuff. So not that the algae is not going to get there anywhere or it didn't start there, but hey, this is what they think. So you have to deal with what the reality is of the rules and regulations. Now your systems and your procedures, your computer system, if people are going to order online through a website, are you going to be able to take credit cards? Credit cards are very critical in this industry. You need to be able to take credit cards from people that want to charge their boat services. And you'd be surprised. If you make everyone pay cash or write you a check, you'd be surprised how many people just say no, they're not interested. You tell them you take credit cards, that changes everything, especially for the middle class who owns a boat that they really can't afford, which is typically the case. It's a luxury item, and people get into their boats and they don't realize how much they cost and all the other costs once they buy the boat. So because of that, they end up buying more boats than they can handle, and therefore they can't always afford it with their measly paycheck. Okay, licensing. You're going to need licensing. Go find out what that licensing is and kind of jot that down on the legal pad for you to put later in your business plan. And then you want to put the name and address of where you get the licenses and how much they cost and what they're good for. Regulations. Hey, why don't you go through some of the regulations, find out what you can and cannot do, because you may think you can go do all these great things for cleaning and you find out that it's not even legal. You can't even use those kind of products near the water, even though you thought you could. Insurance. Insurance isn't cheap in this industry. You might think that, oh, it's no big deal. It is a big deal. And if you don't have it, a lot of marinas won't even let you work on their property, especially public marinas, and it just gets really crazy that way. And your financial strategies. What are they going to be? How are you going to get the money to expand your business and keep it going? Taxes. Taxes are real. So what are you going to do? How are you going to buy your equipment in such a way where you can have the proper depreciation or the investment tax credits or whatever's available at the time? Remember, these laws change. So you might write all this down and then 6 months later you find out the law has changed, or the Congress approves something else for small business because they want to get jobs going again because they found out that they had made a mistake with the small business community for the last 8 years or more. Okay. Then you got to talk about your capital requirements. How are you going to get the money? And you're going to borrow money from your savings. You're going to earn money as you go to grow your business. You're going to get money from your folks, family, friends. You're going to do crowdsourcing. You're going to go borrow money at the bank. You're going to put it on a credit card. Some people do that. You're going to try to get the equipment vendors to loan you money or lease the equipment to you and pay over time. You need to think about all those capital requirements because you have to buy the equipment and it's not cheap. Long-term goals. What do you really want to do with this business? Do you plan on building it up and selling it? You're going to be in it forever? Are you going to die an old man or old woman and still own this business? Are you going to just be brushing and cleaning a boat one day and you fall off and you die in the water? Think about it. Do you have a long-term plan for this? Additional managers and additional crews. Hey, you may be just you to start out, but eventually your business is going to get bigger. You're going to have more clientele. You're going to have to hire additional crews. How are you going to train them? How are you going to get all that done? How are you going to screen them? Are you going to make them sign non-compete clauses so that they don't try to steal all your customers? Believe me, that happens a lot. in the service business. You'd be surprised. And some people just go to work for you with their long-term plan, and their long-term plan is to steal your business. So beware, it's real. Billing. If you bill customers, sometimes they won't pay you on time. They'll pay you whatever you want to be paid in 30 days or 15 days. They'll pay you in 30 days or 45 days or 60 days. Or if you work for government contracts, you're lucky if you get your money in 90 days. Seriously, the government's the worst, slowest paying customer you could ever have. You don't want them. They suck. And then sometimes they give you a voucher instead because they didn't have enough money or they didn't allot it, or the government shut down, or some bullshit, right? You don't need. So beware of that. You may get a great big juicy government contract or a big corporation. You think that, oh, you're set for life. Not if they don't pay you on time. You basically become their bank. You're funding their cash flow instead of your own. Then you have to go out and get a loan so you can stay in business until you get the check. That's a disaster. You actually cost you money and interest to go get an account, which you didn't figure into the price. And everyone's going for the lowest bidder. It can drive you broke. Okay, so think about that. Billing's important. Anticipated gross sales from your services. You got to figure out what services you're providing, how many of those services you're going to do a month, between the seasonal and the weather, the number of rainy days, or the number of days you can't work where it's too cold. All those kinds of things. Are you going to do services that winterization services? So in the winter you can keep checking on people's boats even though you're not washing them. You're keeping their battery charged and all those kinds of things. If so, then those are some other services that you might have revenue from, and you need to anticipate how much gross sales you think you're going to have. And look, it's nice to be an optimist, but that's not the place you want to be an optimist at. Okay, so you want to think about where you're getting your gross sales from and how much they're going to be. And your business expenses. You know your basic business expenses. You can go back and watch one of my other videos on this. And then you need to figure out how much they're going to be each month based on the amount of new business you're going to take on, the new revenue and everything. Because the more revenue you get, the more expenses you have, and it grows and grows and grows along with the gross sales side. You want to try to figure all this stuff out as much as you can in advance. No, it's not going to be perfect. That's why they always get angry at CFOs and corporate executives who have forward-looking projections, and they don't make the numbers that they were anticipating because something happened. The economy changed. They had a new competitor in the market. New technology came along. There's opportunity in chaos, but there's also, if it catches you flat-footed, you're losing ground very quickly to the competition. So you got to think about all these things and don't get too optimistic. In your appendix, this will be a section where you'll have a bunch of other reports and stuff, and you're gonna put it in the back. And so I want you to start thinking now about, after you do your gross sales from services and your expenses, think about how you're going to put that on a spreadsheet where you're going to have each one in a little box, and you're going to run it out a few years, and you're going to try to figure out what your sales and expenses are going to be. And then you'll have the totals of net loss or net profit. Hopefully you'll get to a profitable situation as quickly as possible. That's the goal, because you have to live off that money, and if you don't make any money, why would you do this, right? Okay, so then sketches of your equipment. As you're looking through all the catalogs and the equipment and going online and thinking what you need, and you're designing your rig on a trailer or whatever it is, maybe you can get a custom one, kind of sketch it out and see how you're going to put everything to make sure that it's all organized so that you can work efficiently out of it. I'm not saying you have to immediately make your business a Six Sigma process business. Boom, 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 boom. The most efficient as possible, because you're going to change things as you go. But try to think of efficiency and how you're going to put everything where it's really easy to get to and it's really easy to set up and break down and go to the next job. Because if you're spending 10, 20 minutes going between jobs and breaking down and setting back up again, you're losing money. You're only making money when you're working. And so you got to be thinking about that. You don't make money when you're traveling. You don't make money when you're setting up. You make money when you're actually doing the job. Okay? So you got to average all that in and think about that. Website strategy, I'm going to talk about that later in another video, but there's a lot of people online who talk about website strategies. And so you don't necessarily need to look at my video. There's plenty. And you can get a lot of advice. If you're tech savvy, you're watching this video, you got it. You'll figure it out. Social networking plan. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't think that the social networking is going to be the only thing you need to do for your business. Believe me, you have to press the flesh. You have to get out there at the marina. You have to get out and talk to people. You have to meet boat owners, ask for referrals, get the whole thing going. So those are what I want to talk to you about today. I think I'm done now, but go ahead and start your business plan. Make sure you make a table of contents, and then your table of contents will become your outline and your working paper for your business plan. If you never go any further, at least you have this part done. And this will be very valuable to you because it's a planning process. It's making you think. And then as you go, you'll modify your thoughts and your ideas, and you'll find new niches as you go, and you'll keep modifying this plan. Even if you never complete it, you put all that process into it. Now, it does help to have a business plan. If you're going to borrow money from a bank, they're going to want one. It's going to be mandatory. Even if you get an SBA loan, they have a 13-page little business plan that they want you to fill out. You can just take the information right off of what you're creating right here. Okay, so think of that. If you, like I said, I have a detailing business plan online, or I'll email you one if you want it. You can email me, or you can buy it at Amazon Kindle. It's for the detailing industry. Just look up Lance Winslow at Amazon Kindle, and you can buy the pre-done business plan for a detailing business. This is kind of similar. It's a boat cleaning business, but it'll give you the same outline that I used for this. Or you can email and I'll send you one, or you can ask me questions or leave comments below, and I'll try to go over anything that you had a question about that maybe I didn't cover in full because I was rushing through this too quickly. Okay, thanks very much, and get that business plan done. And if this is the only thing you do is go through the process of this creating like a table of contents which becomes an outline, great. It's best if you go through all this and you actually complete making a business plan, because you can use it for other things like getting investors and making your business a little bit better and a little bit bigger, and have the right capitalization to start out with, so you can maybe pay yourself a paycheck as you get going, because you have good, proper investment coming in until you really start making money. Okay, thanks a lot. I hope you have a great day, and congratulations on your future success in your new business. Okay.